But why are we in Kuala Lumpur?
Because you f***ed up.
No, you f***ed up.
No, it wasn't me, it was you.
No, it was your job to check the passports, and that was the problem. Turns out we found that our passport ran out, or rather our pass to Thailand ran out the other day.
Yes, our visas, they were 30 days. We had a 30-day visa each, and you can extend it for another 30 days, which we thought we would do. Very easy, just do that in Krabi. And then a little while later, we would then go back to Malaysia and get a 3-month visa. So I woke up and thought, I wonder when our visa expires. And it was that day,
So we raced down to immigration, and turns out that immigration isn't open on the weekend because it ran out on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So we would have ended up being 2 days over, and the Thai authorities are clamping down on this kind of thing. So in a panic, we bought tickets to Kuala Lumpur, where there is a Thai embassy where we can get our 60-day visa. So that is what we're doing here right now. You f***ed up though.
No, it was you.
No, it was definitely you.
It was you. Kuala Lumpur. We're downtown Kuala Lumpur and there is so much traffic. Sorry about the noise. Anyway, we arrived this morning at 8:30, queued, put our applications in for our visas, and at 10 o'clock we were out. So that was pretty fast going, I can tell you. Tomorrow we've got to come back and hopefully we will collect our passports with our new visas. And work in KL, this is the kind of place where you get your coffee, very groovy, very nice, very smart. But you have so much noise coming from the building sites and the traffic, and the air is pretty nasty. It's not really our idea of the perfect place to stop for a morning coffee, so we're going to move on.
One thing that I can safely say is that Kuala Lumpur is not designed for pedestrians. I know this because yesterday we tried to get to a restaurant which involved walking down freeways, down roads with no paths, and this morning I've just trodden on a serrated bit of metal which was an old lamppost someone had decided to cut, and it went through my foot and punctured my sole of my foot. I've just cut my foot again on a paving slab. It's noisy, it's very difficult to cross these very busy streets. This street here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-lane street. Yeah, this place is clearly designed for anyone travelling on wheels rather than on foot.
This feels as though I'm back home in London because it reminds me so much of Canary Wharf, which is just down the road from our flat. There's a great big shopping centre here, there's metros, there's fountains, there's trees and parkland. And not only that, there's the Marks and Spencer.
Well, they say that Kuala Lumpur is famous for two things, food and shopping. If that's your thing, gotta say, not my sort of thing, but we thought we'd come to this mall, which is right by the Petronas Towers, and Liz needs to pick up a couple of things and we thought we'd go for a coffee. But it's full of shops that I would never even dream of even looking at, let alone shopping in. It's very posh here, and we're not posh.
Chanel, Armani, Dolce & Gabbana, Fendi, Prada, they're all here. This shopping mall is so posh, it's not really our kind of place. And you know what? They are that posh that on the ground floor they even have first class loos. What never fails to astound me is the lack of imagination a certain kind of rich person has. You see the same brands in every shopping mall, in every capital city and airport around the world. Gucci, Armani, all of them, they're always there, all selling the same things, and these people seem to think that by wearing this brand it says something about them. Well, what it says to me is you're a bit of a twit, because in my old job we used to make silk garments for the top names and the high street names, and they were all made in the same factories out of the same silk by the same workers. So next time you want to buy one of these huge brands, just think about it. You could probably get the same thing just as good on the high street.
It's horrible.
You could be forgiven for thinking I was right in the middle of a rainforest, but no, this is the middle of Kuala Lumpur. It's beautiful. This is the KLCC Park. It's 50 acres and it's just below the Petronas Twin Towers. It was designed to give them a little bit of greenery when they look out of those top windows. Obviously there's quite a strong Chinese influence in Kuala Lumpur and all over Malaysia, and this is the Chinatown area of KL. Petaling Street Market. We're going to have a look to see what they've got and maybe get something to eat.
Of course, as you know, glasses are very important to me. Always go for the most expensive that I can find, and of course this kind of area is ideal for picking up my very expensive glasses, and I found two pairs which are suitable, and they cost 15 ringgit each, which is about £3, so we're talking top quality here. What is your name?
Robert.
Robert?
Yeah.
And you are the purveyor of the finest glasses in Kuala Lumpur.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
We got the visas, we got another 3 months in Thailand. Yay!
Do you remember that noise? That's a very familiar sound. That is the sound of painters hard at work prepping the Dodger, the hard Dodger. So the stage we're at now, Ton and Tui have now basically finished their work, and we've handed over the work to the painters, and of course the painters have to prepare this and make it absolutely smooth. I love watching these guys at work. It's not something I could do for a day, not even an hour, because you need very strong upper arm muscles. What they do is they spray the surface with a black spray can, and this shows up the imperfections. So they'll sand down until obviously it's nice and smooth, but it's a pretty intensive job, and so there's two guys working on it at the moment. It's not the easiest surface to be sanding either, because obviously there's a lot of curves, there's a lot of sort of nooks and crannies in this design. So anyway, let's go and have a look and see how they're doing.
So we just thought we'd come and have a look at our beautiful hard Dodger, see what's going on. We've now got the painters on the case. Carpenters are finished and they've been sanding, fairing, sanding, and it's all smooth. It's beautiful. It's very exciting. It is now the day before the next national holiday in Thailand. We had Songkran when everything shuts, and tomorrow is Labour Day. And it seems to me that Labour Day has leached over into the day before Labour Day. I have a feeling that it might leach over to the day after Labour Day, which means everything stops. And this is one of the problems you have to contend with in Thailand. When there's national holiday, the whole world stops. So we just have to work around it. The next thing we're going to be doing is trying to work out when we're going to haul. So we're going to talk to them now.
We'll talk a little bit more about the Dodger in a moment, but first of all, Liz, what were your impressions of Kuala Lumpur?
I quite liked it. There were aspects of it that I did like and others that I didn't like so much. I was just very relieved after all this time we made it there.
Yes, yes. For me, the first thing that's most striking is the architecture. And it's just a real mishmash of modern architecture. If you're into your architecture and you like modern buildings, KL is the place to go, because they are everywhere. They really are.
Yeah, I would agree. The only difference between you and me is that when you were away in December, I went to Singapore. And you hadn't seen Singapore, so I was comparing it with Singapore, and Singapore, I think, sadly, is even more spectacular.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so, but still good.
Yeah. One thing that we didn't include in this little clip, because we just didn't have time, was the botanical gardens.
Yes.
And that is a real breath of fresh air. Literally, in the middle of the hustle and bustle of KL, you have that beautiful botanical garden, which is, it's the size of a small village, isn't it? Or a large village even. It's massive.
We didn't spend long enough there. I mean, if we go back, we said we would spend quite a long time there. It was really beautifully laid out. There's so much to see in the way of, obviously, plants and trees and so forth, and beautiful water features and little areas we can go in. Loads of birds. It was just beautiful. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't spend more time there.
Yeah,
but
we were busy.
Yeah, so it is a real mixture, KL. I think for me it maybe lacks a little bit of soul. I couldn't help but compare it to Penang.
Yeah.
Which is maybe a little bit unfair. You know, it's a capital city, it's got its commerce. And of course we were only there for 2-3 days, so we didn't really see, we literally just scratched the surface, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I enjoyed it. It was great fun. It was really good. Now the real big drawback though was the noise. Constant
noise. It was amazing. I mean, you saw in the video how we were battling constantly with background noise. Not just traffic, but so much construction work going on, so much building work.
Yes, it was just never ending, and I think I said at one stage, couldn't tell us just because we're just used to being on a boat on the ocean, or whether KL is just ridiculously noisy compared to other places we've been to. I don't know, really.
Yeah, well, I'm sure some of you have been to KL, would love to know what you think of it, so let us know in the comments. Right, talking of comments, we are looking for your ideas and suggestions as always when it comes to the Dodger, and we just wanted to talk about a couple of things on the Dodger. As you saw, we have now released Ton and Tui of their responsibilities, and we've got the paint team just finishing off that preparation, and as you saw, Liz ran her hand across it and it's looking so smooth, isn't it?
Smooth as a baby's bum, just gorgeous, yes. So we just jotted down a couple of questions. Here's the first one. I would think chunkier is better for the Dodger strength-wise. Thoughts? And that's from Chris Stephen.
Yeah, Chris. So Chris picked up on Liz's comment in the last episode where she described it as being chunky, and you were a little bit concerned that it was chunky, but I think I'd agree with you. This is one thing we're looking for, is something very, very strong and sturdy. Because we're going to be grabbing hold of it, we're going to have a lot of weather thrown at it. I think the key thing really is just how it's supported and to make sure that it is secured as firmly as possible. But yep, I agree with you, chunkier the better.
Okay, from Victor Bitter, do you intend to paint the forward uprights for the Dodger black to give it a cantilevered appearance?
Yeah, that's a good question, because we have looked at some designs and they actually accentuate those curves and gives you the real feeling of that acute angle at the front. But the thing is, we haven't really discussed this in too much detail. We're not going to have front struts that will be visible. We're going for stainless tubing either side of the cockpit and 2 at the front. So we'll have 4 stainless 1.5-inch tubes. And when we finish the canvas work, they will be inside the canvas.
Right, okay.
But
and the clears, so it'll be all clear and smooth around the front and sides. Is that the idea?
It could be, but of course the clears have to connect to some sunbrella somewhere. Yeah. So it may be that we could design the sunbrella to have those angled corners, maybe. Don't know. What do you think? Looking for design ideas, really, because we haven't yet started the canvas work.
A couple of questions just again on rainwater. Collect rainwater, but do not put it in your tanks. Store it in jerry cans instead and use it for washing clothes and other secondary uses. That's from Norman Boys. And then another one here. So once the water has flushed for a few minutes, do you just drink it like fresh water? I'm curious whether rainwater is as pure as faucet or water maker water. I think he means tap.
Tap water.
Yes.
Yep.
Trevor Ward, thank you. Right,
well,
answer that one.
I don't know. I mean, I'm no chemist, but I imagine rainwater is actually probably better for you than desalinated water.
I think that's an absolute definite yes, because everything I've read and have been told is that when it's a water maker water, it's nothing. It's got nothing in it. It's got no goodness in it. It's just water. So you really need to add things to it for it to do you any real good, apart from hydration.
And I think we've said before, or maybe we haven't, but we're going to be putting some inline filters into that rainwater as well. So any little bits, mainly dust and dirt in the air that the rain obviously invariably brings down, hopefully will be caught by those inline filters. But again, we're not experts at this, so we'd love to hear from anyone that really does know their stuff when it comes to water purification and good water versus bad water. What do you think? Not just speculation. I'd love to hear from someone that really does know about the chemistry of drinking water.
Nothing to do with the Dodge, just a straightforward question. Thought I'd ask it anyway. I saw a quick glimpse of your cabin sole flooring. What did you use for that? I'm thinking about a vinyl teak and holly marine product, but trying to find a person who will do it is becoming difficult. Still looking at different ideas. What do you think? That's from Sean. Okay,
Sean, well, we bucked the trend a little. We decided to go for just solid teak. So that was 6mm strips of teak, which was laid down by our carpenters. We previously had the classic marine look, which was the dark wood and the light wood.
The holly, yeah.
And because we wanted to modernise the look of our boat, we did away with that design. So we can't really comment on that. Obviously, laying just a single wood is going to be a lot easier to do. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, and we did this in Thailand, where teak is plentiful and a lot cheaper than it is elsewhere. So we were lucky that we were able to put these beautiful teak floors down. And serendipitously, you have asked that question just as we've started to do a series on our refit on our blog. We only posted this on Sunday, so we're on part 2 now, and it's about the interior. And in that we do talk about the sole boards and generally what we did inside to modernise the look of Esper. So we'll put a link to the blog and to that particular piece.
And we'll also put a link in the description to the subscription form for our mail out. So if you subscribe to that, then you will get a notification every Sunday when we post up a new piece on that refit, which I think will include eventually the costs.
Yes, the final one, number 5. We're on number 2 this week. Number 5 will be a complete breakdown of all the costs to satisfy all those people who've been asking for the last 2 years.
Also, don't forget, we're still running our May discount code, aren't we, on our shop. Yeah. So, yep, sign up, and if you can't find the discount code anywhere, get in touch and we'll give that to you. That's for email subscribers only. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed that. Put your questions, comments below. Please like and share this episode, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do.
So, for now, peace and fair winds.
But what were you saying about the greenery?
Right, start again because you're waffling. Every place we visit in the world has a reggae bar.